Hi, Chesterites, and welcome to another episode of the Overlit Old Person Show. I figured I may as well talk. I have a lunch roast. Not that I'm actually making a roast. I'm just going to talk about my date with Captain Obvious on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, and we're doing our food delivery for Meals on Wheels a little early because of the holiday. And we've had fireworks galore, fireworks aplenty, lots of booms in this area. And since we have a lot of trees, I peek out the window occasionally, like, the crotchety boomer I am, to see, like, is something going to be set on fire? So anyway, I wanted to go down to Woodcliff Canal in Freeport, which is the town of my origin, and there's a dive bar that makes really good food. So I called my friend who lives in the area, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'd like to go out there this week. How about Tuesday before the crowds and all this? And he says, fine. And then he calls me later, like the night before, to say, yes, it's good. It's not going to rain. And I'm like, so what? You can eat inside. And then later on it occurs to me, this guy still doesn't have a car. Don't ask me why he doesn't have a car. I don't believe he's that broke. And I'm sure there's someone he could get a loan from. I mean, he does have an ex-girlfriend with cash, but I don't get it. Anyway, so Captain Obvious, because he can't seem to make small talk. I don't expect people to be scintillating, but he this habit of stating what's like right in front of you. So I get to the place a little before 12, and I'm sitting like outside on the bench. I see him schlepping. And he's like Mel Brooks. He's like Mel Brooks in High Anxiety, schlepping with the bag, because he can't go anywhere without a bag of something. He's got a knapsack, or when we went out last year to the park, he had like chairs and towels and an extra shirt, and it's like a comedy thing, or like a backpack with these. So he's walking down there and he has a bag. He buys flowers for me, which is great. It's really nice of him. I tell him not to do it, but he does. But instead of just like getting a thing of flowers, he goes to the florist and gets a vase with something in it and carries this bag of water and vase down the street a mile and a half, whatever. Anyway, I didn't pick the flowers. I didn't really care for them. They were what I would pick, but it was nice of him, and it's money he doesn't need to spend. So he goes in there, and we go up to the place, and you have to order at the bar, and I say, is there a menu? And the menu's on a sheet of paper, and it's small print. It's not very big print. And I know he should get glasses, but he doesn't get glasses, has never gotten glasses. I've seen this before where we've been ordering someplace and he's actually gone to the wrong window because he couldn't read the sign that was hanging overhead. So instead of, picking something off the menu, he asks the wait person. Okay, fine. And we wait and we get our food. And the place just opened. And these seem like small things to you, maybe, but it's the same thing. Oh, and he always wears a hat. Did I tell you? He always wears a hat because he's bald. And we're not supposed to know he's bald. No matter what month of the year, there's some amusing hat. It's got a butterfly on it. Today's said New York on it, which, anyway. So we're sitting there and waiting for our food. And they put on the music, and it's Boomer, B103, early 60s. Love goes where my rosemary grows, and that kind of shit from the pre-rock era, the pop stuff. And I'm trying to ignore it. But no, you know what he's doing? He's naming the artist. He's naming the artist of each song. I'm like, yeah, I know. And if you say anything sarcastic, he backs off like, oh, no, you're going to da. So I said, okay, I'll shut my mouth. Because I said something and he started to blow up. He's like a pincushion with and you can't say anything without a pin going in. Okay, so we're having our food. We're looking at the seagulls outside. That's fine, because we're watching the gulls eat other people's fries, and there's a lovely dead fish floating. We're in this glass enclosed area because it's still limited dining, and we're looking out on the dock, and we're watching a gull poke at a dead fish, and I see something like up on the roof next door, and I'm talking to him, and when he doesn't see something, he'll act as if he does. So I'm like, yeah, it's over there. And I'm telling him, but it's 4 o'clock up this way. And he's staring. Obviously, he doesn't see. Obviously, he doesn't see the bird. I go, higher up. And finally he does. And this happened 2 or 3 times, or I'm telling him, oh, look, there's so-and-so. And he won't even when he can't see something. It drives me absolutely fucking nuts. So I was talking earlier in the week about going to a thrift store that's the next town over, but opposite from where I live, because Freeport is like an hour's drive from where I live west, and this other place was west. And I said, no, I don't think I'm going to go there today, whatever. I mean, we sit, we have our food, and that's all good. And we're there like an hour and change, and then he wants chili. He says the chili here is really good. Evidently, they don't make chili at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. And so he goes to the bar. He wants to take a container to go home because he doesn't cook. I don't even think he has a proper stove because his house in Hurricane Sandy was kind of wrecked and the outside is fixed. He won't let anybody in there. From what I understand, he's never really finished up the house. I don't even know if he can cook. Anyway, so he asks for chili and he goes back and he's like nonplussed, like, I don't believe they had chili. I said, well, they don't have a vat of chili at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday in July. And he's like, oh, but this place is famous for chili. They've had chili ever since it was Place X, and it hasn't been Place X in about 30 years. So, and we're eating, and they always give you fries, and I'm not crazy about the fries. And I know, another thing he does, he has to save food to go to the next meal. He has to. I mean, he'll eat out all the time, but he has to save food. So I see he's like putting aside some of his oysters or whatever. And I said, would you like my fries? Because I don't want them. They're soggy. And I'm giving him my fries. And he's loading them all into the little paper boat. And then the piece de resistance, he pulls from his backpack out the giant Ziploc baggie. He carries Ziploc baggies. And so he's shoving the remainder of the food into the Ziploc baggie. And I'm just picturing him schlepping this home. And these behaviors are just, they're consistent. It's just funny. It's funny and it's not funny. Because if you mention something like this, like, gee, it looks like you're doing this again. It can't be said. And then he finally gets his cup of chili and that comes in a bag and I say, thank you. I'm being like, really, thank you, because they had to make the fucker from scratch, when he comes out there and he puts the chili in his pack. And I'm telling you, this backpack, it's mountaineer size. It's like, it is. I said to him when I first saw him, like, is the tent in there too? Because he cannot go anywhere without carrying things. And anyway, so we have our lunch, and I said, okay, I'll drive you back, since I've got the car, and we get in the car, and I'm driving him back and all this, and drop him off at his house, and then I head out back home, and it's really, really bad thunderstorming when I get like halfway home. It's evil, and there was like even a truck run off the road. It was bad, but I made it home, and I'm like, okay. Should I call him? And of course, I look in the trunk and the vase is all tipped over. So now I've got a totally wet trunk, and I've got these pale carnations that look like some old person died. I'm wondering if this is because the girlfriend he has sort of currently, who is now too old to get out of the house, is like 15 years older than him. She's like literally old enough to be my mom. And I'm like, that aside, like, okay, now I gotta put these fucking carnations in my house, and I don't like them, but I have them. Like, I guess I should call him. So I call to thank him. He's not home, or he doesn't answer the phone. And the next day, I get to talk to him, and he's like, well, did you go to the thrift store in Baldwin? I'm like, no, it's the other way. It was raining. He's like, whoa, I thought you would because it's right there. I said, no, it's not right there. It's the next town west. I'm not going to go someplace that I decided not to go to in the wrong direction when there's thunderstorms coming. And that was my lunch with Captain Obvious. And then I got a fierce headache when I took a nap that afternoon because I don't eat fried seafood as a rule. So I don't think I'm going to be going back there. But it's just like, I know I'm an old person, and the gas station man, who was actually my age the other day, actually called me dear, and I've got the Medicare signed up and all this, but am I like this? I don't think I am. I'm sure I'm annoying, but just sitting there and like, oh my God, is this what I'm going to be subject to until I die? I'm hoping not. Anyway, you guys have a good 4th of July weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you to my subscribers who show up once in a while. I know my content isn't scintillating or anything, but I do like to chat. And if I call up my daughter and tell her about this, she's going to just tell me not to criticize the guy. So have a good day.